It's the pop culture show with cult classic swagger. This is Inglorious Brothers. I'm Matt Harper, and together with my brother Justin, we dive into the deep end of the zeitgeist each week to bring you cool talk and hot takes. No genre is too specific, no topic too broad, and no rabbit hole too deep as we open our minds and enjoy each other's company. Sound good? Then let's ride. Hello and welcome to Inglorious Brothers. I'm Matt and I'm here with my brother Justin, and on today's show we're taking a big walk down our personal musical memory lane to take a look at two records by one artist. Well, they're actually two artists, but the records are by one artist. You get the point. Who is these artists? They are Ray and Emily Saliers, better known to the world as the Indigo Girls. After hitting a big home run with their second album, Indigo Girls, the duo from Decatur, Georgia, followed that record up with two certified masterpieces, in our opinion at least, Nomads, Indians, Saints, and Rites of Passage. The records are chocked full of hits, bangers, earworms, heartbreakers, and stone-cold classics, and saw the two take bold steps forward with each subsequent album while still remaining true to the creative building blocks that made up their sound. Beautiful, catchy acoustic guitar riffs and devastating vocal harmonies combined with deep, insightful, culturally aware lyrics to create one of the most unique and listenable bands of the early 90s. In fact, the fact that they were basically an acoustic folk group operating in a modern indie rock space only lends more credence to the quality of their music. I know your love for them runs as deep as mine, so I'm glad you suggested we revisit these two terrific albums. And so for today, yes, the initials of our show will remain IB, but today we are not the Inglorious Brothers. Today we are the Indigo Boys. All right. All right, welcome to the show, guys.
What an intro! What an intro!
Thank you, I appreciate that. We're talking the Indigo Girls today, a band that is central to our early love of music. I would say on both accounts. You know, we both came up like so many white dudes in America.
Early for me, yeah, for sure.
Pretty early for me too. I mean, like as soon as their first hit dropped, I was all over that band.
So I wrote down a couple of questions, and one of them was, because absolutely you were my doorway into this group. How did you first get into the Indigo Girls?
I was like good friends with Tony Fletcher, and we were really getting into bands like REM and 10,000 Maniacs, and the Indigo Girls slid right out of that like whole scene, you know. The Georgia thing, and it was modern rock, and that song Closer to Fine was just like such an absolute earworm. Like it was inescapable during that year when it came out.
When you had what, three bands that came out of that time? You had REM, you had them, and you had the B-52s. Were all
B-52s came from
all from
Athens
that same area, right? Yeah.
The Athens scene, I would say. Yeah. And so that song comes out, takes over the world, and you get the record and you find this little nugget at the end of the the second Indigo Girls record, a little collaboration with Michael Stipe called Kid Fears. That is just the coolest song in the world. And to hear that iconic voice of Michael Stipe come in just at the end of the song, it's just like, it's certified their legitimacy and their authenticity. It's like, okay, there's this cool like folk rock kind of duo that sing these beautiful harmonies. Oh, they're doing it with Michael Stipe. Oh, this is the real deal here.
Essentially got co-signed.
And then you listen to that record, you run out and you buy that record because you're, getting all the records that, mean something to you, to your taste. And you get just banger after banger after banger on that record. I mean, you get, Secure Yourself and Blood and Fire and,
Blood and Fire is a banger.
and on that record, and this is kind of one of the points I wanted to make, you see a template almost being set, right? And it's some of the stuff that I talked about in the intro, right? So they write really catchy acoustic guitar riffs, right? And they can apply that to a up song or a down song, a fast song or a slow song. It seems like every record you get at least one song where it's just one woman and her guitar, like a solo performance, like when Amy did the Dire Straits song. What's the one?
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
You get one of those on this record, and then on the two that we're going to be talking about today. You get a very like heartfelt, like tender, contemplative, slow song like History of Us on Indigo Girls, and then on Nomads, Indians, and Saints, you get
I think you get a couple. I mean, you could put Ghost in that category.
Ghost is the one is on the next one, and then the one on Nomads is You and Me of the 10,000 Wars.
Oh yeah.
Just an emotionally devastating song. And that song, that's one of those songs that has that magic trick where you can listen to it in a relationship significant other mind state, and it'll destroy you. But then you can flip that to like a parent child, and it'll destroy you all over again. Like, incredible song. And that's the other thing. The really, really interesting and like deep lyrics. Don't you agree? Like
So,
there's something very deep and thoughtful about the lyrics that these guys
I
come
mean,
up
they're
with.
they're amazing lyricists. So there's a couple of things that I learned this week as I was doing my research. So one of the things that I did not know that I find that it totally makes sense, and when you bring it up the way that you're bringing it up, it also makes even more sense. Did you know that they don't write songs together?
Uh, I can't say that I actively knew that, but it makes sense to me.
So essentially, the way that it works is they write a song themselves, all right, and then they come together for the arrangement of said song, all right. But actively writing, they're writing these songs completely separate to each other, all right. Like they are not like
So they
sitting down.
collaborate
Like
on the arrangements of the song. So what
yes,
they're right. So they come with like a handful of like
already
some
written
verses, some
songs,
choruses,
right,
and
and then
like let's figure out how to put this together.
and how like how are the harmonies going to work, how, what other instruments are we going to have, but essentially it is a woman and her guitar, and that is how they write these songs.
Well, I
And
guess help me understand. Like, to me, the arrangement is like how the song is structured with verses, choruses, bridges, solos, etc. The parts
that
of the
is the
song.
writer, but what I
Okay,
mean
so
by the arrange like
so like after that point, when they add in the harmonies, the other instruments, et cetera, et
right,
cetera. Yeah, see that makes sense. So
doesn't it though?
they each write completed songs, and then they
Correct.
embellish them when they collaborate.
Yes, that's their
Um,
collaboration. Which,
mhm.
when you say it the way that you just said it, makes total sense, and it really, really does lend itself to these extremely introspective, songs that have just they're multifaceted, and they're love songs, and they're some of them are fun, and some of them are just completely in a different headspace, but
And
it I
they're tapped into some certain like cultural reference points that really that I find just really kind of cool and impressive. Like there's something very sort of like university level about these lyrics. You know what I mean? Like there are references. I mean, in their big hit song, with the poster of Rasputin. Like, or in in World Falls when they're like Sajarez says, "Don't let go, plant these seeds and watch them go," which is one of the best moments in any song that they have. Is like that moment right there when they come out of the chorus, the first chorus in that song, and then like that little string of lyrics and the way it just bounces is just
Well,
it's perfect.
Virginia Woolf on Rites of Passage is just
There you go. Right.
a lyrical painting of you know
Hmm.
of Virginia Woolf and what it meant to what it meant to them. The other thing that I really I guess I was aware, but I wasn't as aware, dude. Amy Ray can play her ass off, bro.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like she is really, really good. Like she's the one that's doing most of that. Like, the technical guitar shit is
I
mostly Amy.
I don't think so. I think they're both.
No, I watched them in a very stripped down performance.
Oh no, no, you're right. You're
Perform,
right. You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
Now, I feel like
Emily is
if
more
you
of a
watch the later
busker.
stuff, yeah, yeah, yeah. But if you watch the later stuff, Amy's voice, bless her, is like falling off
It
a
is.
peg, big time, which is going to happen when you get older, and just depending on stuff, it's a little depressing. But they're still so good at what they do that even as they get older,
I
you still just get locked in.
So in a way, I will say this is there's something endearing about her voice. I would call it like a falter. Like
Hmm.
her voice kind of falters for her
Yeah.
in some of the like the
It's not as
stronger.
it's not as powerful as it once was.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's not nearly as powerful as it once was because in their
Right.
heyday, like my God, is one of the things that just made them so compelling is how big they would go with those harmonies. You know what I mean?
Well, and I mean that to me is the biggest signature. It's how they interweave because obviously, so Amy has a bit of a higher register, and keeping that higher register over time is always going to be the hardest thing for it. Which is why Emily's parts seem to be a little more evergreen. Is just that she's doing a lot more of the falsetto high stuff versus Amy doing a lot more of the bassy low end of the sound spectrum. So but it's that juxtaposition of their two styles of singing that have lent themselves to these amazing harmonic arrangements that they are able to put into these songs, and that's what still attracts me to these records all of these years later is like I'll be listening to it and just be like, man, I never noticed this, this little bit of harmony that they do here, or how they play off of each other on this song, or it's very thoughtful too, who takes what part where, and it's I don't know, man. There's nothing that, in my opinion, comes really close to the way that they coalesce with each other in those early days, in those early records. I mean, it is the cohesion of those two vocal styles is unbelievable, and that to me is what the staying power is, because I am so enthralled by the two of them and what they're able to produce sonically. I mean, it's just the sound is just amazing to me. As a musician, it has always captured my imagination to a degree, because I mean that like I love to sing, backup. So when I was in, my most recent band, I relished the fact that I didn't have to take lead on vocals, and I could sing harmonies, and I could work out harmonies on songs, and be the oohs and the ahs and the part that fills out that sound, and the way that they complement each other is just it's just one of the most one of the things that brings me the most joy musically in my entire life.
They certainly have a knack for just writing catchy guitar riffs and, as you say, like just catchy, perfect harmonies. I find that listening back to these albums, I feel like I know every single note to every single harmony line because they're so well written and I've listened to them so many times that it's not just the melody that I just have like locked into my DNA at this point, but like every single moment of harmony, like it's just so perfect. And I I did a play in high school. I think it was when I did Little Shop of Horrors.
That was in college.
And no, Little Shop of Horrors was in high school. 1940s Radio Hour was in college. Um,
Both of those were at Frostburg. I remember going to see them. I remember going to Frostburg to see Little Shop.
please don't
All
dictate
right.
to me my life. Uh, I did
Taking
Little
care
Shop of
of.
Horrors in high school. Matt Lyons was played Seymour. I
Okay.
went to high school with Matt Lyons.
All
Tim
right. All right.
Gleason,
All right.
who I went to high school with, played the
Okay.
plant. Tim Argour, one of my high school chums, played Mr. Mushnick. All right. I did that in high
You're
school.
right. Okay.
Um, I also know that I did that in Washington, D.C. in high school because, as you'll see in this anecdote that I'm about to tell, uh, we had to go downtown to the apartment of the woman who was doing the music for that play to learn our harmony parts. I'll never forget this. I think I went down there twice. I took the metro, or I took a bus down there with like two of my classmates, and then we met up with like two girls from Immaculata who were singing in the play. And we all met at this woman's apartment building. She came downstairs, she let us in, and we went upstairs to her apartment. She's got a piano there, and we spend like 3 hours, and she is just sitting there running us through all of our parts. And like, all right, here's how your part's going to go, sweetheart. And she's like, that, 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 that. And, okay, sing that. Okay. And we'd sing it. All right, you're a little flat there. So remember that, that, and she'd sing it again. And so she would literally just part by part teach everyone their parts, and she'd show you the notes. And she was so effortless on piano that she just she was a pro. And from that moment forward, I just absolutely loved everything about harmonizing, vocal harmonizing, learning parts, figuring out what the right note was. And when you get it right, there's magic there. It
It's
just sounds
sublime.
so,
It's sublime.
and and there's nobody better than the Indigo Girls. It's at least, not not in my opinion back then. I'm sure there are plenty of people that can harmonize just as good as the Indigo Girls, but they they have a really unique thing going.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing is that it's not all traditional. It is unique to them in a way. Like they do it in a way that I don't feel like anybody else, at least at the time, was doing it. I don't really think that anybody does it the way that they do it now. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are better examples that band artists and bands that we don't know. But I mean, it's just there's something about the two of them and the way that they complement each other that is so unique to me. And I can't tell you how many significant others I have tried to get into this band, and I cannot get any of them into it. And what's so funny is my wife, who is a singer and loves harmonies, I can't get her into the Indigo Girls to save my life.
Hmm. That's funny you mentioned that because when Mandy and I got together, we didn't like connect over this band or anything, but I knew that she liked them. Um, and I think she was very much aware of Galileo, um, and some of their other songs. But I don't know. We never really went deep on it or anything. But one year on my birthday, um, we had gone out to dinner at Pensacola Beach on the boardwalk. We ate dinner down there someplace, and it was a nice night. I think it was when she was pregnant. Um, and yeah, because it was like maybe it wasn't my birthday. I feel like it was my birthday though. But yeah, I guess we she would have been showing. I think because I remember her being pregnant, and once again, I don't have to worry about her correcting me because she doesn't listen.
She's not gonna listen.
Um,
Yeah, my wife neither.
um, but we were wandering down the boardwalk, and there was music like coming from the beach down at the end of the boardwalk, and kind of wandered down there. And it's like, oh, the Indigo Girls are playing a show on the beach right here, and we didn't even know. And she's like, let's go see if we can get in. We walk over and we're like, can we get in? And they were just like, yeah, just go ahead on in. Like it was a fully ticketed event and everything. And you know, Pensacola is a big gay area, which is like one of the things like the Indigo Girls are like lesbian icons at this point. And there was just like tons and tons of gay kids down there. Um, and they were just like people at the ticket window were just so chill. Yeah, just go on in. So we saw the Indigo Girls for free on Pensacola Beach.
That was one of my questions that I had. Have you ever seen them live?
So
Had
yeah,
you
and
seen
so
them
like
live prior to that? I've never gotten a chance.
I had not seen them live prior to that.
Interesting. So that would have been like 2000, like 10, 11? No. When year were your
Who
daughters
did
born?
who did I see? I saw
Would have been 2000. So probably 2011. Your daughters were born in 2012, right?
12, yeah.
Yeah.
No, 13. My daughters were born in 13. I was married in 12. So
Oh,
that would have been
they're 2 years younger than Connor. I thought they were
yeah.
only 1 year. Oh, okay. So it's probably 2012 when you see them.
No, 2013, summer of 13.
Oh. Got you.
But what I really should go back to look at, I saw a show at Merriweather Post Pavilion way back when. I want to say it was an Earth Day concert, and Michael Stipe came out on stage and sang something with somebody. But I don't think the Indigo Girls were at that concert. I cannot remember who it might have been, but I'm sure if I go on what is that? What's that site where you can look up all the
Set
set list?
list.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to dig that up on set list. I found the Coachella show that I went to on set list. The
No
two
kidding.
nights of the 2 nights of Coachella that I went to, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that I saw them too. So let's get back onto some of like this sort of signature like hallmarks of the Indigo Girls, because one thing that I think they kind of put out there right up front in their first big hit, which in a lot of ways, just in and of itself, that one song has a lot of the hallmarks of the Indigo Girls vibe and sound. Is this when you're talking about the lyrics? Is they make this direct reference to like psychotherapy and like being in therapy. I went to see the doctor of philosophy, you know,
Yes.
and I went to these lyrics. And I think what that represents is like a willingness in their lyrics to be brutally honest, to show you like the deepest part of their psyche and their hearts. And then there's always that through line runs throughout like all of these albums. I keep hesitating to say like all of their music because shamefully, like I fell off the map with this band, and that's one thing I really want to do after this is I'm gonna start working my way through all their albums because I know that
I
they're not going to
agree.
be the same as these for me, but I think within those records, and they've made a lot of albums over the years, there's going to be some great nuggets in there. So I'm gonna start doing that. But certainly through these albums, that's a big through line. This like very self-reflective, introspective vibe to a lot of their songs and lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally
Another thing.
agree. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say I did just do a quick Google search. Friday, April 21st, 1995 at Merriweather Post Pavilion. There was like an Earth Day show, okay? And
Okay.
it was Collective Soul, Letters to Cleo, Natalie Merchant, Toad the Wet Sprocket, and They Might Be Giants.
It was Natalie Merchant. It was Natalie Merchant that
I
that
get
Stipe came
well,
out and did
as
something
soon as
with.
I saw They Might Be Giants, I'm like, I guarantee you were at the show.
Does it say with Michael Stipe?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't say specifically.
And what
I
year was
wonder if
that?
I click in. It was April 1995. And it was a benefit concert for Earth Day. But I can't
See,
get her. I can't get her. No one's
it's
ever put in the set
90
list.
95 just seems too late for that show, the one that I'm thinking of. See if there was like an Earth Day concert
Yeah.
there in the years prior. I'll look it up sometime.
That's the one that popped up.
Another through line I find, the South, songs of the South, being from
Yes.
like Georgia, of course, the Southland in the springtime is just an absolute classic. And then also Nashville from Rites of Passage, like they're very, very tied in with a southern sound, which is just interesting because in a lot of ways, like the South is not really associated with being like too friendly to lesbians,
No, but they are very into where they came from, and it's important.
Yes, very
to them.
much.
But I tell you what, the thing that about that song, about Southland in the springtime, is it's like every time I hear that song, I can literally envision myself being on a tour bus with them and her just like looking out the window writing that song. Dirty from the diesel fumes, drinking coffee black. I mean, it's just like
incredible imagery.
Yes,
and
the
it's
pictures
storytelling.
that it paints. Yeah, it's just amazing.
Which is another through line in their lyrics, like the storytelling. Like they have some songs that are very storytellery, like even closer to Fine in a way. It's telling the story. I stopped by a bar at 3 a.m. To seek solace in a bottle. There's despondency, there's despair, there's hopelessness, but there's also hopefulness.
And they talk about the jadedness of LA. They talk. I mean, there's so many different places that they go. You know what I mean? And it's such a lived experience. You know what I mean? These are things that you wouldn't like. It's like they're cutting themselves open and like exposing their soft insides to you, and in the most beautiful way possible. I mean, because it's like, some of these songs are just, they're gut wrenching odes to to lost love, to love that there's so many different things.
And I mean, even when you go back to Indigo Girls, I mean, it really started there on that record. I mean, you look at Blood and Fire. I mean, like a contemplation of suicide, of being right there on the edge. Like, I mean, just like so deep, just soul bearing. Another thought that occurred to me, and sort of a through line. What was it? Like this deep sort of spiritual tie to the natural world, and to not only to the natural world, but to like native culture.
Yeah,
and I mean, we see
indigenous
that.
culture.
We see that in the imagery. I mean, Nomads, Indian saints, and the song that I'm trying to the record or the song escapes me that uses that lyric. What is it? I wish I was a nomad, an Indian or a saint. That's in World Falls.
World's
It's in
Fall.
World Falls. Yeah, that song is just incredible. World Falls. Like I said earlier, it's got that one moment. I woke up in the middle of a dream, scared the world was too much for me. It is just like, God, that is just so perfection. That line gets me every time.
Oh, dude.
And then like in the third,
but there's
the
so
third
many
line.
of them. There's so many of them that I have that effect on me. That really gritty part of the vocal when in Pushing the Needle Too Far, when she's like pushing the needle too far, and it's like it slows down just a little bit, just so you get that like that slight bit of emphasis, little grit in the voice. Like there's so like it's so complex.
Have you listened to the Get on the Bus Y'all version of that song?
I'm sure I have at some point. I didn't this week.
Yeah. Go back to that one for a revisit. That's a really, really good one. That whole first record, the whole Nomads, Indians, and Saints record, just so much good stuff. I mentioned You and Me of the 10,000 Wars. Like that song had me in tears like yesterday listening to it. It's just,
it gives it paints an image that you of that kind of conflict that you have with people that are significant in your life. Be it a spouse, be it a girlfriend, boyfriend, be it a mother, a father. There's just so many ways that you can interpret that that relationship and the feeling of that, you know, that disconnection that you can have with an individual, and they paint that picture in a
and
way
how
that's
like
so
one
great.
thing, it's like how one thing can mean two different things. You know what I mean? Like, what is that thing right there? Oh, that's our bed. Oh, that thing that I have to make every day versus that's our bed where we lie together, you know, a bed to be made and a bed to lie in, like perfection, you know?
Hmm.
It's like 8 words. And they are so adept at giving us that. Um, Another thing though is like they can rock. You know what I mean? Like they can rock out. Like when you get to the end of pushing the needle too far, the queen that closed the door, family that lies, deeper, like they contain multitudes.
Yeah, well, and they also have like the upbeat songs like "Hammer and a Nail" and "Joking" and
Joking is such a
"Chicken
little like
Man."
pop, just like nugget.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like joking is just, it's so fun. It's just like it's confetti. You
yeah, and
know,
like I'm a big fan of "Chicken Man." I love that song, and in
adore
a
it. It's
way
on my
where
list.
it's like, you know. Um, it starts out with that dead dog on a highway.
Yeah, well, no, it starts off with
Me.
the acapella. I
Oh yeah, you're right.
am
You're
an
right. You're right. You're right.
only child. That's bold. Yeah, that's a killer song. And when it gets to the chugga 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 part, like it's so good. Like you just get into that song. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, and you get that harmonica, and it's like that. In that harmonica to me is like a train. That
Yes. Yes, you get the chugga
yeah,
chugga
yeah,
chugga
yeah.
with the harmon. Like it's so
Oh
good.
man.
And I am sure I am not the first or will be the last critic to point out the fact that around this time, another song by another alt rock artist that was a little quirky in its way, that was Something Man, came out. You know what song I'm referring to?
No.
Spoon Man,
Oh yeah,
come
yeah, yeah.
together with your plan. Save me. I'm together with your plan. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
it's got those two songs are kind of living in the same world in a way. I'm curious as to which one came out first because I guarantee you those two records came out within a year of each other.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
You'd have to Google that one.
Because when I think back on the time of life when I was into those two records, I'm pretty sure that was like there's like that's got to be right around like 94. I bet
So
you both those records came out in
I
94.
also have like a really deep connection with Rites of Passage because I was super into that song when I first started playing guitar, and like we had some situation at home where like I don't know, Andy and I were like fighting a lot or something like that, and I had like taken up guitar, and I don't know if it was a therapist or somebody had like suggested that Andy try to like teach me to play, and we only ever did this one time, really, and the song that I chose for him to teach me was Romeo and Juliet, and like I had him teach me how to play that song, and so I mean, I have like deep seated memories of this music, like that is part of my musical foundation, like all the way at the bottom. And so I have such a deep love for this, and the sad thing is I've never been able to get a significant other to like enjoy this with me, to where I can like share it with someone, and
You can share it
because
with me.
I know, and I do, and we are.
I'm gonna share one right back at you when you're done.
Go ahead. No, I mean that's it. There's a lot about that song too, like that is kind of cool that I didn't know. Like, it's the only cover on these two albums.
And what a choice! What a choice for a cover, man! Like, and
Well, and
I
it's
didn't know, I wasn't aware of that song before the Indigo Girls covered it. Like, I'm not a big Knopfler fan, so
well, and here's the thing about it is that it is very much its own. If you listen to the original version of this song, it sounds nothing like their cover of it.
oh
Like they truly make this song their own.
well, and by they you mean she, because
She, yes,
this is
Emily.
one of the this is one of those moments on like so many on these records where one woman, one guitar.
The Killers covered this song, and it sounds like a carbon copy of the Dire Straits version of the song, and it's a super cool video. And I will put links in the show notes to some of this stuff that I have, some of the videos that I used researching, and I'll put a couple of these other versions of these songs. But the original music video for this song is the 80s glory, and it's amazing. But going back to, there's so many songs on this album that I play and that I have even like in the last probably 10 years, 15 years, where I've taught myself another song from these records.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I in a similar way, have this like kind of like gut level DNA affinity for this group, and especially like these records. Closer to Fine came when I had, shortly after I had started playing guitar, and I knew how to play a few things, and I was like a GCD guy, and here comes Closer to Fine, and it's like as GCD of a song as ever was written. And
it's got a couple other little kickers, but you could get by on a GCD. But,
yeah, you can get the party started with that guitar, and it's real simple. It's iconic, but it's so simple the way it just steps up, and then you move the other finger, and and then it's very, very simple. It's a beginner guitar part in a way. It's fantastic. It's perfect. But it's a beginner guitar part. And at that moment in time, I was able to learn that. And this is also around the same time. The record came out in like 91, I think, or 92. And no, came out in 91. This is right after or a couple years after I had that experience I talked about with like learning harmonies for the school play. And I'd done it in college when I did radio hour. So I was in the harmonizing space. I had done it a little bit with my college band. And this song comes out, and like, it's tailored. It's tailor-made for harmonizing. And so I would try to rope anybody I could into singing this song with me, because I was able to learn the harmony parts. I mean, the harmonies, like we were saying earlier, are so clearly delineated with these women. Their voices are so unique, and they work so well together that like you just memorize these harmony parts whether you like it or not, by osmosis. And so if I could get somebody to just sing the melody part, I could easily rock the harmony part. And I too can remember playing that song with our brother Andy and singing the harmonizing, like just crushing the harmony in that song, like no problem back in the day. So very, very deep seated for me. I also remember doing with, people sitting around the ring at night doing Kid Fears, because that's got the great Michael Stipe part. I mean, you can get a 3-part harmony going at the end of that song. So deep DNA stuff. I'm enjoying the heck out of this conversation, and we're going to keep it going. I think we've leaned more towards Nomads, so we'll talk more specifically about the stuff on Rites when we come back. Stay with us. Please check out our other show, Beyond the Slipstream, a weekly podcast about pro cycling, and oh, did I mention pro cycling? We're kind of obsessed. Search and subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, or click the link in the show notes. All right, we are back, and we are talking Indigo Girls. So their biggest hit was Galileo, far and away, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yes. Closer to Fine had a huge resurgence with the Barbie movie.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But I would say like their biggest like at the time hit during the heyday. That was kind of the nadir.
I've heard Galileo in the freaking grocery store.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like in the last like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, totally ubiquitous. It's like part of the canon now. It's like one of the great songs. And again, so many of the hallmarks in there. I mean, just it's Galileo, you know what I mean? They're talking about these very college level subjects, you know, and getting into the mythology and all that kind of stuff. I mean, an absolute banger, but you know, that's just one of among many songs on this record that were just so good.
Something about that song that I didn't know until this week. They play that song in two different keys, like two different capo sets. So they're
Really?
not. Yeah,
Oh, like the two of them are in different capo. Oh, okay.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure many bands do that.
Yeah.
know?
I'm sure they do, but it's just I didn't realize they did it. So it was something for me that I did not realize.
And it's just such a catchy earworm. I've performed that song live on a couple of occasions. I love it. What are some of your other faves on
So
the record?
Ghost is one of my favorite songs, maybe of all time.
Yeah, it's incredible.
The imagery of, you know, the Mississippi's mighty, but it starts in Minnesota, and just like,
yeah,
you know, at a place where you could walk with 5 steps down. And I guess that's how you started, like a pinprick to my heart. At this point, it cuts right through me, and I start to drown. And that's like, oh my God, dude! Like,
yeah, that is some incredible lyrics.
So that one stands out to me. My other one, which I think is maybe the best love song of my life, is "Love Will Come to You."
Another one. First, you just hit the first two on my list.
"Love Will Come to You" is the most recent song of theirs that I have learned to play, and it's such a good song when it's the pause of fear upon your chest. Only love can soothe that beast.
Yeah, that's one of a handful of songs that they have that are in a way like they're almost like hymns. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a hymn of spirituality, that song. Yep, absolute banger. Now you've mentioned Chicken Man already. I have to give a little love to Airplane. I absolutely adore that song with every fiber of my being.
I never could have read my horoscope or the fortune on a bubblegum strip.
Yeah, well, and it's like, to me, the best lyric is where it's like, "What a great thing to read before getting on an airplane." Like we're right back into these hallmark images, you know, like fear, anxiety, you know, therapy, all that stuff. It's all just like totally wrapped up there. They're working with the Roche sisters in there, who also do the backing vocals on Virginia Woolf. And it's got this the harmonies that those women do are very like 1940s girl group, like the Andrews sisters, you know,
Yes.
not like 60s Supremes. It's got like a real Andrews sisters kind of quality that gives it a very old timey feel, that song, and yet it's about air travel, you know what I mean? Like this modern thing, which is just like such a nice turn. What else is on your list?
I mean, I could talk very well about the last 3 songs. Cedar Tree hits me in the feels in a big way. After Dad passed away, like that was a song that meant a lot to me, like helped me through a lot. It's a very it's just one of those songs. It's you know, about loss and, you know, tragedy, but also, you know, it's not just loss of love, but it's loss of pain. And there's a lot of different ways you can take a lot of different things you can take from that song in different ways at different times. And, you know, it's just, you know, it's just a tremendous song. Let It Be Me is also
wait, hold on. Let me get in my Cedar Tree
Sure.
stuff. So I agree with everything you said, and also like that song is a really good example of something else that I find the Indigo Girls be really good at, which is very, very effectively using other musicians. Some of their songs just have the best like violin part or the best whatever part, the best little ukulele or the best mandolin or something like that. And if you'll recall, the end of this song has got a beautiful outro with like violins and some great percussion work and stuff like that. It's absolutely, and it's musicality to match the level of the lyrical songwriting, you know what I mean? And it's also very inventive song arranging and structuring. You know, as simple, quote unquote, as a lot of these songs are, like these two are maestros. Like they can write some complex, you know, very avant-garde kind of stuff.
I think that if you look at it only on the surface, you could look at it and be like, this is just simple. This is just simple. You know, you could write it off as it's just simple acoustic folk rock. Anybody could do this. But it's not. And that's
Yeah,
the
so
thing.
many of their songs have that.
That's the thing that I think it's kind of like I relate the Indigo Girls in music to cycling in sports. It's a thing that if you're not super into it, you're not going to get it. Like it's just not for you because there's so many different levels of nuance in their music that if you just take it for that one song by the Indigo Girls that you heard Closer to Fine or you heard Galileo, and that's all you know about them, you've completely missed the bus, man. It ain't for you. And like, while those songs are great, they're not the best songs that they have, and they don't give you what makes their music so infectious. And from a musician standpoint, it's where, you know, because I've tried to learn how to play them, some of them are very simple to learn how to play. Some of them are fucking impossible. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's not exactly what you see on the surface. And I think that's what makes it so good. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's stuck with me so long into my adult life. I mean, there's plenty of music that I love that I haven't listened to in 20 years. All right. These are two records that if I want to just like get into a zone, or I want to feel good, or I just want something that's not heavy, it's not light, it's not rap, these are go-to records for me, you know, in certain situations. And I know every word, I know every movement, and you know, they mean so much to me. And they get that serotonin in my brain going and make me comfortable and feel safe. And there's just something about it, man. There's something about these two records that is just so goddamn good.
Yeah, one thing I find like there's definitely yet another through line with these women in these songs is a nod to Americana. There's something very, very American about these records. They lean into geography in a way. You know, we talked about like the Southland in the springtime, and then there's Nashville, which I want to talk about a little bit.
There's all kinds of stuff.
But then also they can take that to to like a more metaphorical level, like the land of Canaan. You know what I mean? And Nashville in particular, to me, it's just like that's a Bruce Springsteen song. You know, everything about that song, the way that song plays out. I mean, it starts off with the heavy drums, dun, two, one, and then right in with the harmonica. I mean, I could absolutely just see Bruce Springsteen doing that song. So of course I had to Google up, has Bruce Springsteen ever covered an Indigo Girls song in concert? And the AI gave me, no, Bruce has never publicly covered an Indigo Girls song. They've mixed together in various settings, but he's never covered anything. And then it was like, however, it does go the other way. Amy, I believe it was Amy, appeared on a record from, no, it was Emily, not Amy, on a record from January of 2019 called Born to Uke. And it's a bunch of artists covering Bruce Springsteen songs. And of all of the artists on this record, Emily was the one who covered Born to Run. So if you like, go and hunt down Born to Run, the Emily Saliers ukulele cover from the album Born to Uke. It's kind of good, actually. But like that song is just so Americana, you know what I mean? Just rock and roll, you know. It's being on tour, it's the road, you know, it's the South. It's
I mean, but that's the thing, man. It's like
it's so archetypal.
And they paint that picture so well, and the more you listen to it, the more you can be inside of that music and really like see what they are trying to describe to you, and what and put you in that place. And like, if you think about Nashville, I mean, it's like, that song, it makes you feel that it's got a little bit of a country twang to it. It's a little more country and a little less folk. And, they do that through different songs, and different songs have different vibes. And, it's very, very interesting how they marry those different worlds and those different themes, and how they bring it together. And oh man, I'm just enamored by these two ladies.
Would you say there was a progression from Indigo Girls to Nomads to Rites of Passage?
Absolutely. Like, to me, because now I listened to Rites of Passage before I listened to Nomads. Like, one led me to the other. Like, I had heard the first or the second album, and then I really got into it with Rites of Passage. And I mean, I played the hell out of that record, and that record led me to Nomad. Like, I because of my love of that one, I went and I had the other two, and I got the one that bridged the gap, and then listened to that one. And I mean, these are all things I had on CD of my own, at different points in my life.
I think it's interesting when you go from Indigo Girls to Nomads, Indian Saints, and you talk about the opener. You got Closer to Fine, then you've got Hammer and a Nail, and like those two songs have a very, very similar vibe. You know what I mean? It's like a upbeat kind of, you know what I mean? Just a good like forward momentum in both of those songs. Hammer and Nail is a little bit of more positivity, like, but then you get to Rites of Passage, and
you start with 3 hits, and it's very like rhythm based, and not that like high energy,
but it's got an energy to it in a different way, though.
Yes.
It's like they're starting to like sort of strip down the idea of an opener in a way.
Poetry in motion, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So how about the relationship between the songs, History of Us, and then from History of Us we go to, on Nomads, I would say it's the girl with the weight of the world in her hands.
Oh yeah.
And then on Rites of Passage, it's
got to be Virginia Woolf.
Virginia Woolf. Yeah. Like what's up with those 3 songs?
I think they are telling us they tell a story. They each tell a story, you know, of a woman in different, phases in their life, and about a woman's life in a perspective that you can't. And I think one of the things with them being, you know, I think they've both gone on record. It's funny because they've both been in relationships with men and women, but they don't say that they are. I mean, while they are,
Well, they're both married to women now.
yes, but they're married to women. But I literally read that neither of them like completely define themselves as, lesbian. You know what I mean? Like
They're on a spectrum like every human being on the planet?
there's some amount of fluidity to how they view themselves, but they do a wonderful job of painting a picture, at least for me as a man, of, they have gotten me in touch with my inner woman in a way that, that has made me a better person in life. But I think those songs are the doorway into that for me.
Yeah, they are certainly adept at expressing a feminine interiority that you don't necessarily get from a lot of, popular music.
I agree. I agree.
Which is to their credit and part of the reason why they are so beloved.
All right.
Great couple
of
albums.
I have two more. I have two more questions that I had jotted down in my notes.
Go ahead.
All right. Out of the three, all right, let's take the three albums. How do you rank those three albums? For me personally, it probably goes, my number one would be Rites, then probably Indigo Girls, then Nomads, Indian Saints.
God, that is so hard. I think I would probably go Nomads first, actually.
But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of opinion, man.
Well, okay, so you said that you came to Rites of Passage first
Yes.
and then went back to the other two.
That
For me,
one. Well, no. I originally heard the self-titled album, the Indigo Girls album. That's my first exposure. But then you or Andy or somebody was very into that Rites of Passage album, and so when it came out, I got into it because of Galileo specifically. Galileo was my my gateway drug into that album. Got completely into that. That then goaded me into going back and listening to Nomads, Indian Saint.
well, I think the truth of it for me is that if you took all of the songs from all three of these records and jumbled them all up and then randomly chose 11 from each one and, made three albums that way, they would be just as good in a way. Like they could be one big triple album. I think for me, I would probably Nomads, Indians, and Saints probably means the most to me because I was very into the Indigo Girls album. And Nomads was one of those records that I can remember being so damn primed for. Like I knew it was coming out. I was waiting for it to come out, and it comes out, and it completely yes, it did not disappoint. It completely fulfilled everything I was looking for. And a couple of the songs just like, I don't know, they just like touched me so deeply. And I feel like they're still in my subconscious when I'm writing music. I feel like there's things that come out of me that go back to that without me even knowing it. But yeah, hard to play superlatives with these three records. What's your other question?
So, what is your favorite song from each?
All right. From Indigo Girls. Favorite song? I think it would be Blood and Fire.
I th- I'm I don't know. Kid Fears, man. Kid Fears is like, yeah, it's Kid Fears for me on the first one. It's Kid
It's
Fears.
incredible. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Um, from Nomads. This is going to be so hard as well. Um, I can't make this decision. I refuse to make this decision.
Can I give you? Can you make it if I give you two?
Like I have to pick from one of these two.
No, no, no. I'm saying pick,
Oh,
if
if
you
I, can I
pick
pick my
two.
top two? Okay, I'll try to pick my top two.
If you can't pick
Here are all this.
one,
These are the songs that are in the running for me. Welcome Me because of the glory of the harmony of the chorus of that song. World Falls because of that because of the first half of the second verse. Um, You and Me of the 10,000 Wars because of the just crushing devastation that does to me emotionally, and Pushing the Needle Too Far because I learned how to play that song when it first came out, and I have always loved playing that song, playing and singing that song. That's a song that is just like built for performance. For That's why you got to go and listen to that live performance. So it's between those four. And you hear the reasons I gave you for each of those. They're all completely different.
yeah, 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 they're very
You know what
different.
I mean? Like one's because
For
of the harmony, one's because of the arrangement, one's because of the emotion, and one's because of the playability. What's your pick on that one?
so Southland in the springtime, I think is
And
one
there's
of.
Southland.
I think that Southland has one of the. I just think that it is one of the most picture perfect like songs. If you want to see an image inside your head, like that is a song that will absolutely paint a picture inside of your brain. And then the other one for me is the girl with the weight of the world in her hands. I just that the this it's such an amazing song. It gets in your feels. It gets and it really, really, really just is such a just great produced song in every way. It's just stripped enough, but it still has a quality that it's bigger than what it is. I don't know, man. I don't know how to describe it.
Um,
Words don't do it justice. You really got to listen to it.
I think if I had to pick one, I'll go ahead. I'm going to say World Falls. And from Rites of Passage, man,
This one is much tougher for me. For me it comes down to the first two songs that we started talking to when we came back from the break. It's Ghost and Love Will Come to You. Like
I think
those
it's
two
going to
songs
be,
are just
yeah, I'm with you on those two. If I had to pick one, I'd say Ghost.
lyrically I will give it to Ghost. Yeah, man, I don't know. God, those are two great
Love Will
songs.
Come to You. That's a hymn.
Yeah.
That's an
Ghost is
absolute
just
hymn.
Ghost. It just the that like I feel like this with Ghost. Every person that's ever had their heart broken can can feel that song. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it is a way. It is a very visceral song for you know that longing that you have for another human being, another soul, and the mark that that person can leave on you, and the void that they can leave in their absence, and it's just unbelievable, unbelievable songs. If you are listening to this, you need to listen to these records. You do not go to whatever is comes after without hearing this music because it is utterly beautiful in every way.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more. Okay, so on Spotify, which song do you think has more listens? Closer to Fine or Galileo?
Closer
Here,
to Fine.
wait. Before I tell you the answer, one of them has 79 million plays, and one of them has 19 million plays. You
Closer
still
to
want to
Fine.
go with Closer to Fine?
I do.
You are correct, sir.
The only reason that I go with that is because of the Barbie of it all. I think before Barbie, Galileo probably had it.
Yeah, it'd be fun to go back in time to right before Barbie and see where it was at.
Because again, you're talking about songs that came out way after digital music, way after the Spotify platform started. And absolutely it would have gotten juice from that movie. It's all over that movie. It's like two or three times they play that song.
I don't even remember it.
Oh yeah, they like play it in the car. Like when they're driving in the car between the two worlds or whatever.
All right, I'm asking the AI.
You're Googling it?
How many plays on Spotify did Closer to Fine by the Indigo Girls have before the Barbie movie? And it's really having a hard time with this one. It said before Barbie premiered in July of 23, Closer to Fine had roughly 63 million streams on side of Spotify. So it still would have beat the crap out of it.
Still would have beat it.
Interesting. What a fun episode. What a fun band. What an awesome band. They're incredible. I'm definitely going to be listening to more of their records in the upcoming weeks and months. Yeah.
Maybe we should pick two albums. Maybe we should pick two albums that neither of us are familiar with and come back and do this again with an entirely like 20 years separated from, 30 years separated from when they came out and like do this again with like bringing it from because like right now, all these records, we're bringing all of our history with us. If we do fresh takes on music that we've never listened to or haven't really listened to, maybe we get something different out. Maybe we come back and revisit Indigo Girls again, a year from now.
Right. I'm down. I'd be down to do that. There is a handwritten and signed lyric sheet for Closer to Fine, handwritten by Emily Saliers, that was sold on Julian's online auctions. It had an estimated price of $600 to $800. How much do you think it sold for?
I don't know.
$1,040. But I don't know if it's like the actual lyrics, because I'm looking at the picture of it and it just looks like she like wrote out the lyrics.
Wrote the lyrics
with a Sharpie marker and said, "Here, sell this." What a great band! This was a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in, folks. As always, we love the Indigo Girls, and for my brother Justin, I'm Matt. We have been the Indigo Boys. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, everybody.
Inglorious Brothers is a Harporama production and a part of the Harporama family of podcasts. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and follow. Leave a 5-star review, and most importantly, tell all your friends about us. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. And, arrivederci.